All right, we're back. That was weird. Just like disconnected me and wouldn't let me reconnect for a little while there. Seems we're okay. Of course, it disconnects us just long enough for half the people here to flee. That's how it goes. Hey, Dragon, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you so much for the Prime sub, my friend. I don't have alerts turned on during class day, but I am very, very thankful. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let's just hope whatever it was just a little hiccup. Could be from all the storm activity. Maybe they're messing around with lines and stuff. Who knows? Just kind of cleaning up this little sphere joint shape we got going on here. Back to the sphere. Yep. Okay, I think right where this metal rod kind of goes into this sphere, I'm gonna create like a little bit of a seam line here. We're back. Howdy, Looney Lona. Right, all the way around with this little seam line. Hey, Beastworks. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. A little ball and socket joint kind of looking thing. With the little pauldron. Now we gotta figure out how we want the top side of the pauldron to look. Wouldn't it be easier to sculpt the sphere than top? You could do it that way, yeah. Hindsight's always 20/20 when you're designing something. So you guys can certainly take advantage of the hindsight we gain. The reality is I didn't know we would even do the sphere until later, so. Just doing some little panel lines here. Maybe like one going like this. Okay, and then maybe like a little circle right there in the middle. Nothing too complex there. Let's do a little bit of the kind of dots going on here. I'll add some scratches, and I think that'll be pretty good. Do a few scratches, really fine lines. Exaggerate a few of these little dings with this tool. Clean this up just a smidge more here. I think I'd like to see something here on the front too. There we go. That's it for the arm. Okay, let's move on to the other hand. We're gonna need some fine wire. Same wire you used for the fingers of the hand. Was that a 22 gauge, or I think 22 is a good size. And essentially, we're going to make the armature of the hand and do everything with the hand exactly the same as before, but there's going to be one difference, and you will see. Let me get some wire. Make sure it's long enough. All right, we bend it in half. And then we twist this up with the drill. We put the bent end in here. And we hold the other end with the pliers. Don't forget to wrap it around like once at least, like that. Now, usually when I make the first hand, and I might have told you guys to do this, but when you make the first hand, you cut the length of the wire for the second hand. So that way you're having the exact same starting point, and you don't have to kind of reinvent the wheel. I'm pretty sure I did that, but I don't know where the wire is. So looks like we're gonna have to reinvent the wheel after all. So. Now, if you lose that wire, then you need to be very careful to make sure that both of your hands are the same size, because now it's going to be much easier to get the second hand too big. So I'm pretty sure I did. I just don't know. I probably just saw a little piece of wire on my desk. I was like, "Yeah, what's this?" Threw it away. Threw it in the wire bin. Yeah, probably. Anyways, gotta reinvent the wheel. So we're just gonna use the hand that's already here to measure. Looks like we get the length of our fingers is about the length of the palm. So let's get our palm length here. About that big right there. Okay, and then double that, so it's about there. That's the fingers and the palm. Then we add a little bit of extra, well, quite a bit extra for twisting it all together. And that's kind of how I figure out, okay, so let's cut pieces this big for the fingers. So hold on 1 second. Just a minute. Okay, so now we go. Now we're ready. We're gonna cut 4 of these. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, maybe we need to make more. We'll see. 4. Now this 5th one will be the length of the wrist and the kind of the rope that's coming off of this. So this might be a little too short. We'll see here. This one is a bit longer. Yeah, we'll use this one. That should be long enough. Now, this piece will be longer than we actually want it to be. Because it's hard to know exactly how long it needs to be right now. But once we get it all together, we'll cut it down to the actual size. Same with the fingers. You always want this to be a little bit longer. Okay, so now let's see here. Need another set of pliers, and we're gonna twist it together. I'm just gonna hold it like this with one plier, and we're just gonna take the other pliers. We're gonna just twist them all together. Ooh. There we go. Just be careful if you try to do this with your fingers to not cut your fingers with the ends of those wires. Two pliers does the trick. Gives us a nice tight connection. Don't worry about the spacing of the fingers or anything like that. We just want this to be nice and attached. I'll make sure these ends of these wires are pushed down as good as we can. Yeah. And now we sort out the... Oh, and I forgot we need to twist this on here too. Okay. We'll just add that right now. So this really long one, same thing, we're gonna twist it in place. Oops. Wrap it around that wrist section. Nice and tight. Okay, one thing we want to make sure too is that we put the thumb on the right side. So let's just bend this out of the way for now. This is the rope armature. And let's work on the hand here. So right hand, that means the thumb is here. The fingers are there. See? Thumb kind of comes down. These are all on the same plane. And we want to get the spacing of the fingers right. Use your other hand for reference and check it often. See, it's a little bit too wide. So very easy to make two different sized hands, that's for sure. Okay, check again. That looks good. Spacing looks good there. Okay, now the size of the palm is about right about there. Just kind of take our wires here and we're just gonna bend them. All right, and now we can measure this section here. There we go. Now we only have 2 sections of the finger on this one, so any excess will have to be cut or trimmed. There we go. And now we'll trim this. Right about there. Maybe a smidge too long. Okay. What the? Yeah. Okay, now the thumb comes up from the wrist here. About that long there. And we just have one bend here. And we can cut about right there. Now this hand is partially open, but this hand that's holding the rope is going to be kind of grasping the rope or holding it. So let's bend that armature in position. So it's going to come out the side where the thumb is. There'll be a part that comes out the back that goes and connects to the spool here, but we're gonna deal with that later. So let's just get this rope in position here, and where it bends, kind of like that. So we're creating this armature for this twirling rope that's kind of embedded into the hand. Let's bend the fingers so the hand is closed. The thumb kind of goes this way. Like so. Checking the spacing on our fingers again, make sure we're looking good. Hey, how's it going, Block? Okay. I think didn't we end up cutting the arm on the other hand? I think we did. But you can see now, okay, so now at this point, you just sculpt the hand. You cut the wire down, attach the hand, do everything we did for this hand here onto this one. And just ignore this part, okay? Just ignore this rope part. We're gonna deal with that later. So the key is that we have it there. It's part of the armature. So we'll be able to bend and move this how we want, and we'll be able to attach the grappling hook onto the end of it later. So it looks like he's kind of whipping it around, you know? So yeah, so I guess for homework, you can finish the hand and finish the entire arm on the other side. And like I said, just ignore this, but this is the one thing we needed to do differently for this hand as opposed to this hand. So yeah. So for next week we'll have we'll jump into, I'm pretty sure we're gonna jump into the backpack next week. There'll probably be a couple lessons on the backpack. And then we'll be jumping into doing lights and basing and painting and all that fun stuff, because we're getting pretty close to having a finished robot here. So, all right. Let's check your guys' work over on the Discord now. For those of you that have been following on, if anyone wants to join in, these classes are start to finish, follow along classes. You don't need to have any sort of sculpting background to be able to produce something. Just have to follow along and try your best to learn and to apply what I'm saying to your own work, and you'll make successful pieces if you stick to it. So currently we have 2 finished classes that you can go check out on YouTube: how to sculpt a woodland gremlin and how to sculpt a dragon. And then this current one we're working on is how to sculpt a robot, which every Sunday we do a new kind of episode for. So definitely go check those out. And you can join any of the classes and come on Discord and post your work each week, and I can take a look at it and let you know if there's anything that jumps out that you might need to work on, or just to let you know that you're doing a good job. So yeah, let's head on over to Discord, see what everybody's got. There we go. I'm excited. Yeah, we're getting further into this robot piece, and this particular character is available if anyone's out there is interested in giving this robot a home once it's done. It'll have LED lights and be kind of like an explorer robot with a kind of a combustion engine going on in here. The idea is he's powered up by anything combustible that he can throw in this kind of furnace core that he's got. So, but yeah, just shoot me an email if anyone's interested, and we'll know where he's going when he's done. Okay, so here's the general class info. This is for anyone new that's joining in. You can check here to find materials and tools and just any links that we use. And let's go check the robot class first. Okay. There we go. Okay. La Vida Lux. Let's see what we got here. All right. Hey, it's looking good. Very clean, clean work. I love the little wrench that the character's holding. Awesome. I do really love the this idea you did around the door. That reads really well. Coming together. That's right. Nice. Very clean execution there. Okay, so you go do the pauldrons next and the kind of the elbow area. And then you'll be looking at starting. You're not doing a rope on yours, right? So you could just not have to worry about that stuff. So both hands attached, but only finished one forearm. Also, I think I'm done with the inside of the hatch door. Oh, the inside of the hatch door. All right. Looking good. Very nice. Some good design work there, Mr. Clayton. I like it. I see so much Star Wars influence on your piece here. I imagine at this point it's intentional. So the kind of the grading effect looks really nice. All right. Nice work, Clayton. ID 10 Tango officially done with the first ever set of hands. Felt tool dexterity improving without a doubt. Hey, there you go. Hey, those are great. I think robot hands they're definitely easier than and I've always said that robot hands or armored hands or gloved hands with like hands with gloves, it's always easier to make those hands compared to like the gremlin hands, like where it's the biological hands, much harder. So, because you guys are really knocking it out of the park with these robot hands. So, fantastic job. Those look nice. Wonderful. And that's always a relief to no matter what project you're working on, to get through the hands step, to have good looking hands. It's hands and head are the very crucial parts to get right for your character. And once you get past those, it's pretty smooth sailing. So nice. Okay. We don't have any dragon class entries or any. Any gremlins. But we do have some gallery final picks. Oh, look at this. Mr. Brightside. Finishing up his gremlin. Hey, oh, look at that. What's that in the background there? Awesome. This is from the Woodland Gremlin class. This is the type of character we made, so. Oh, I like it. I like the, this red trim here with the blues. Go really well together. Good, very good choice on this color here. You think stuff like that's not very important, but it really is. It really ties the piece together. Awesome. Fantastic work, my friend. Love it. I love it, man. After we get like a couple years away from the Gremlin class, we should just do a reboot, Gremlin class 2.0, just to make another one. I love making characters like that. It's so much fun. Look at the eyes. Look at the kind eyes on this guy here. Majestic beard flowing in the wind. Awesome. Yeah, nice job, Mr. Brightside. Thanks for sharing the work, and you did a great job. Fantastic job with the class. So give yourself a pat on the back. You did good. Okay, it looks like everything we got over on Discord. Self-portrait gnome class. Yeah, I'd like to get into more difficult topics for classes, but I think for now we're still gonna keep things very user friendly. So I don't think we'll see any classes of like doing likenesses anytime soon. So. But eventually we will, I think. But anyways, hey, thank you everybody very much for joining today's class. Like I said, if anybody wants to join in and learn, you can join in at any stage and post work. And we will be doing another class after the robot class is done, where I think we're doing a wall hanging wizard character. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do a wizard type character that's in a wall hanging format. So I'll show you guys how we do a project that's meant to hang up on the wall. And this is a format I'll use when the client wants some particular character, but they might not have the budget for a full character or even a bust. This is a way to kind of limit the composition even more and still give them the character they want, but just, in a different format that doesn't take as long to make. So, because the idea is if it's a wall hanging piece, there's a whole backside of it that you're not even having to make because it's up against the wall. So We've done, like this is an example of a wall hanger, a more complex one, but this will be a wall hanging composition. So the client is able to get this idea of this dragon that's defending his castle, but the cost of doing this like full 3-dimensional would be a lot more than doing it this way. So we were able to take the idea and limit the composition so that way it fits the budget of what the client's looking for. So it's just a great way to, create a win-win scenario where the client's getting what they want for the price that they want it, and I'm able to, deliver something like that. So, anyways, let's find someone to raid. I'm gonna get out of here and enjoy the rest of my weekend here. I gotta poke Greg, see if he's up for doing that one-on-one. And then I think I'm gonna try and get into the garden later. I've always wanted to do those like custom light switch plate cover things. I've always wanted to do that too. Let's see. Where can I drop you guys off? I'm gonna drop you off with Void Brush. This guy's pretty funny. He's got a very cool, almost like a Dark Souls-esque vibe to his illustrations. So, like almost like makes Dark Souls boss characters. I really like how it looks. So, anyways, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, folks. I'll see you tomorrow or whenever I'll see you. Till then, bye-bye.